everybody, and welcome back to Heidi's house. This is your host, Queen Bee Heidi B, and today's featured guest is Pepper Gomez. She is an artist, singer-songwriter, label owner, and radio host. I'm so excited to have her joining in today and to know more about her house music journey. So, are you ready? Then let's go. So, here she is. Pepper Gomez is in the house.
Ole, 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 I'm with Heidi. Ooh, I've been looking forward to this. I put lipstick on for you.
Shout out to you. Shout out to my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fellow house artist from straight from Miami. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for taking so, much out of your time that we can do this interview and that you can share a little bit about this house music journey of yours with our
The
audience.
thanks is mine to you, Heidi. It's such an honor. I'm so thrilled, and I've been really looking forward to this, and you're just awesome. So thank you for having me, for real.
Likewise, and it is truly mutual. Been waiting for this interview as well, and it's a great always to be able to connect and share with the fellow female artists. And we have so much more than the artistry also that we share together, which we are going to go into more in detail during this little but hopefully very nice and fun and informative interview session of ours where you are now our featured guest. So I'm always keeping it short and sweet when it comes to the introduction part, and I'm gonna be so horribly roasting to my own guests that I'm gonna just straight ahead continue to our
Let's go. I'm with you all the way.
question. And
Question one.
Question one is, tell us a bit about who is Pepper Gomez.
Ooh, that's a big question. Big question. I am kind of a multifaceted gal, and I have always enjoyed the arts, not the graphic arts. I cannot draw worth a darn. But ever since I was a little tiny girl, when I got my first like little phonograph, it only had one record. I'm sure my parents thought, oh, this will keep her out of mischief for a little while. And I just played that record. It was Buffalo Gals and Erie Canal on the other side. I played it over and over and over again. So that makes you think, maybe this girl likes music. So after that, my mom kind of liked a traditional education. I think it would probably be traditional in Europe too, where you learn an instrument, whether you want to learn an instrument or not. And I was studying piano, which at this time I'm teaching to my grandkids, but they will soon surpass me because I'm just kind of intermediate. After that, I wasn't that interested in piano. Then I started playing sitar, and I've played the sitar and the tambura for many decades now at this time. And I started kind of when the birth of house was happening in the mid 80s, just by pure luck, Heidi. It was literally just pure luck. We won a contest with Columbia College. It was a remake, actually, of a rock track, which brings in my rock side because that obviously is a beautiful body of music. And we charted a couple of times as Master Plan on Billboard, which was pretty unheard of at that time and extremely difficult. And then I had to determine, was I going to go full out in the music trip or was I going to finish my degree? Well, you can be darn sure I was going to finish my degree. So that's what I did. And then at around that same time, I had a little bit more time to continue in the arts. And I just dived in deeply into the world of flamenco because when I was a little not that little, but I guess kind of still a little girl, like 14, 13 years old. My family lived for a summer in Spain, and I was just mesmerized by the flamenco and the flamenco dancers and the guitar. And it was just like, oh, I love this. But there were no teachers that I was ever able to hook up with. And right at around that time, like almost cosmically, when I had more time, I hooked up and found a teacher for flamenco, and I just did that for a long time. Then, bringing you up to date, about, I think it's like 7 years ago, I think I'm finishing 7 with the label, I had this insane notion to start a record label, and here I am.
Such a beautiful and intensive, synopsis, and I'm just so happy to know all of that. Some parts of I obviously already knew, but you know what? I just realized that we share something more. My first instrument was piano too.
That's a good first instrument.
It
It
is.
teaches you so many basics. I love piano. I'm just not that good at it. Now, my older son, who's in his own band called the T Boys, he is like a concert pianist. That dude can play anything. But me, I'm just intermediate, and I'd rather play the sitar.
And sitar is
And
absolutely.
sing, and sing.
And see, we definitely that part, and I think that during this process that you discovered the singing at some point, and we can go there a little bit more. Have to say, for those people who don't know about sitar, beautiful, beautiful Asian origin instrument,
Yes.
absolutely amazing. So if you haven't heard
From the
sitar,
motherland of India, one of the oldest instruments also on the planet. So a lot of vibes, a lot of deep feelings. You feel like you're connecting with so much. Very meditative. Like you a lot of people like that kind of music to meditate to, but some of the parts also are like virtuoso, and it's an amazing instrument. I feel like I'm putting good sounds out into the world.
yes, you are. I remember being taking part to some sitar concerts, and oh my goodness, the vibes and the good feeling you get while you're listening, and afterwards also. It's a beautiful thing. And now,
What a true musician you are, Heidi. Because a lot of people have never, they don't even know what the sitar is. So I'm always happy to turn them on to it.
people, check what it is and listen to it. It's a healing instrument and healing music. And
Oh yeah.
and and now when you mentioned, you kind of answered a little bit already to question number 2, but now I'm gonna elaborate a bit more. Then tell us about your journey into singing. When did you discover this passion for singing, and how did that start the recording artist career and everything?
I think I always liked to sing. I mean, a lot of people tell me they can't sing, and I totally disagree with that. I tell them everybody sings. What's so amazing about humans is that we have each our own particular voice. Like no two voices are the same. It's almost like fingerprints, and that kind of makes me feel the majesty of God. But I think I liked to when I was younger. I went to Catholic schools, and we actually had music class at that time, and we would sing together as a class. They would teach us like Americana and kids songs, and I remember just feeling so connected with all of my class when we were singing together. It was a beautiful feeling and a wonderful break from some of the academia, obviously. So when I was like a teenager, sometimes I would sing, and my friends, along with songs or whatnot, and my friends would be like, "Oh, you have a good voice," and I'm like, "No, I don't." I just I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. And as I got a little older, I realized, man, I do like to sing. So I actually asked my brother, who has been a musician his whole life, if I could audition for one of his bands. And he said, yeah. And they told me, yeah, you have a good voice, but you should sing folk. It's like, folk? I don't sing folk music. So after that, he used me for a couple of recording sessions on some Latino artists. And I actually got to sing with this other young lady who's together. It just sounded so great. probably it was just like a first entree into the professional world of music, and I really enjoyed it. And then after that, that's when I volunteered to sing for Master Plan that ended up charting. I've sang flamenco. I think I'm kind of like a fish out of water in that one, because the true flamencos are the true flamencos. I bow down to them. I'm nowhere in their category or league, but it was better than having nothing, I'm going to say. And I did develop quite a repertoire. Now,
Yeah.
in the past 7 years, I think I've put out like 26 tracks or something, including the remixes of stuff I've sang on. I don't really try to work on this, Heidi. I kind of consider myself more of someone who's running record labels and trying to grow my bands, more so than someone who wants to be a quote unquote star. I just enjoy singing. I'm tickled that people listen to it. They seem to like it. I have people who enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm just a natural born houser, but my own style of house. You know what I mean?
Yes, and Pepper, I just love that what you have, this passion towards things, and towards taking influences from around the world, like Spanish flamenco, and then fusing that into your music, and Indian sitar, and everything else, and taking influences from rock also, and then I know that you have also combined in your house music the Spanish lyrics, and English,
Absolutely.
you have that beautiful creativity in you, and you kind of don't put that into limits, and I just absolutely love that. It's a
Ah,
beautiful.
you're so sweet, coming from you, especially, who are like a powerhouse. That means a whole lot to me. And yeah, I can honestly say I don't try to make music, it just comes out of me. And I'm super lucky because the various DJ producers continue to ask me to sing on their tracks, which is a big honor. And they just send me the track and the music comes out. It's like, I'm sure you work that way at times also. You get the music and you're just like, oh God, yeah, I hear it and I better write it down because
It's
I
a
better
vessel thing,
record this
right?
or I'm gonna lose it. But yeah, it's just so fun to me. And I do love including other languages, because to me, I think music is a real unifying force. I mean, look, it brought you and me together. It's brought me together with so many wonderful people across the globe. And I feel like music can be a healing force for an earth that really needs it. I mean, if kids were studying instruments, they might not be picking up guns, for example. So I'm very big on the arts bringing all the beauty of the world, and also expression. I'm not really into censorship. There's lots of it out there these days, but I really like, especially on my labels, for my artists to feel free to create. That's the most important part.
I think that is a beautiful reflection of what you stand for as well, and that shows then in your music and in your label as well. Now, I have to agree. I've actually been saying quite many times, while working also as a professional educator, that people should really understand how good influence music has. Studying instrument, being in a band, being in an orchestra, you learn so many other important life skills that it's just amazing. Actually, it does good.
Truly,
and,
truly.
and
And just learning to work with other people and then coming
yes,
up with something together and bouncing ideas off of one another
yes,
and sharing in the process. To me, there's not much that's more exciting, but I just happen to love it. And when you're in that flow, it's better than any high you could possibly ever imagine. And if you're dancing, even better.
Yes,
I
yes,
know
yes.
you dance, Heidi. I know you
She has a
do.
lot of dance. I was doing, actually, I did a course of flamenco once because I
No
also,
way. No
yeah, but
way.
long time ago, and then I started to do the belly dancing more, so it still has.
Oh, yeah, that is so beautiful. I've
Yes,
studied
yes.
a little belly dancing myself. I love the finger symbols. I love that whole style of music. I love the movements. Yeah, anything that gets us moving because, we sit too much.
True. We
You
do, we do.
Europeans probably less than us because you guys walk around a lot. Like when I'm in Europe, I walk like everywhere. We don't do that so much in the United States. We really don't. We hop into our cars and it's not great for keeping you strong or fit and healthy.
I have to absolutely agree with that. So people stand up and dance. Do flamenco, do belly dancing, do whatever makes you feel good, but move and enjoy and feel better. That's the thing. And express yourself through the moves,
Oh,
it's a
yeah. We
beautiful
love
thing.
that.
Yes.
That's another thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can't dance." I'm like, everybody dances. I don't agree with you. Just move it. We'll love it.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to ask you a little bit more about your house music journey. So, what was it that got you into house music, really? What would you say about that journey itself? Why house?
Heidi, I think it was just like pure luck, honestly. Happened to be around making some music kind of by chance, right when the genre was being born. And I think at that time, Chicago was just permeated in new house. Some of us didn't even know it was house, but we
Yeah.
knew there was a powerful sound coming out of Chicago. I mean, you would go into the food markets, you'd hear the Hot Mix 5 mixes, and that was all house. And it was just amazing. There was no way to avoid it. I think even if you didn't hear it, those sound waves were out in the air. And that's where some of my first music was born out of. I didn't know I was making house. I didn't know people would still be spinning it to this day. I didn't know it would now be a classic. We were just making music, and on the very first track, after the remake of Pushing Too Hard, but the very first track was Electric Baile. And that one, though, it has so many lyrics, I don't know how I did it, but I wrote a lot of lyrics to it. And the song was really supposed to be about, someone observing how things were going on at the time and how people were uptight about things, but everything was out there, and how important it is to dance and get out and just have a good time. And you don't always have to be deep. It's got a bunch of ideas in it, but that definitely was a launching point. And for me as a poet, I think it was a beautiful thing, almost like Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison used to say, that he liked making music because it was an outlet for his poetry. Well, I think to some degree that has been my case as well. And yet on some of them, the words just come. They were never poems. And I enjoy that because I believe that we do connect with people and through words. And I think that house music, even though it's a little bit more repetitive, it still has very deep thoughts if people take the time to listen.
True, 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 true. And that ethos of house still includes, even if it's about the enjoyment and it always involves dancing and movement and everything, but it also has that unity and love and acceptance ethos and message that it most
Yes.
of the time conveys in the lyrics. So that's absolutely essence of house music and essential for the house music, that positive good vibes.
Right, right. There's something very positive and uplifting. It's kind of like listening to Robert Owens, who I was lucky enough to sing on a track with him, which is still like one of my, oh my God, I sang with Robert Owens. Oh my God. It was just unbelievable. But if you listen to him, his stuff is so uplifting. And I think house in general, it's not downer music. It's music to dance and be uplifted by. And it's almost spiritual when you think about it.
It is absolutely. So, from your house music journey, then it carried on, and you made more and more recordings. They started to gain success. You have done not only one, but more Billboard charting releases as well, and you infuse your music, and you started to explore the bilingual approach. Can you tell more about that? What got you to that idea? Was there something more special reason for you going into that?
Well, I've always loved languages.
Mhm.
That's for sure. Like, I'm the type of person, some people are like, oh, if you don't speak English, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, man, if I could speak every language in the world, I would be so happy. Because imagine all those people that you could speak to and understand them from their heart. Because your mother tongue does hold a lot of the emotions, and you can learn many other languages, but it's not always going to be as powerful as listening to something or expressing something in your mother tongue. So I think that was part of it. But in the past few years, I connected with a producer named Ken Carpenter, also known as Carpente, and he and I have just clicked on some things, and he's been a wonderful canvas for me. And then sometimes I've been a wonderful canvas for him. And that kind of has been his entree into house-ish music. And that just gives me the opportunity to continue to sing and share thoughts and talk about northern lights in your eyes, or you can't stop me, or any of the ideas that I feel like expressing that I think might capture or connect with the people.
Beautiful, very, very beautiful. And I would love to see that happening more. We have had, when it comes to,
Who
if
can
you
keep
think
who can
about,
keep up with you, Heidi? I don't know. Might not
maybe I
be me.
maybe I will start to make some Finnish house tracks as well, bilingual. But I believe that this is happening, of course, to some extent. But really, if you think about hip hop, for instance, or rock, there are so major genres already, or folk music, or so on, many other genres of music, where it's already normal when you go different parts of the world to hear hip hop, for instance, in Swedish or in German or in Spanish, or
Yeah.
so on. So why not house? Why not house? And I sometimes, I also have encountered track that implement a bilingual approach, but let's see how this evolves, because I think it's also then a sign about how well that genre of ours has been rooting in our global community, when it kind of starts to be more recognized. It's still not a long time that house has been, for instance, in Grammy, or certain genres of
Right.
house, being recognized in music awards, and so forth. Even though we have been doing this thing for quite a while already, it is still more in an underground, but I'm looking forward to see that, because I think that is also one sign of a global house music phenomena taking more root, when we hear more that bilingual approach, or maybe something in completely foreign language. But that was an interesting.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. There are so many cool artists out there making very cool music. I mean, even in the rock side, I create two music shows a week. one for the Sound 228 and the other one for classic hits, Z107. And I am so blessed that they let me do whatever I want because I can spin stuff from other countries, or I can
Yes.
spin a 7-minute track, for example. And it's just so awesome to hear what artists in other countries are doing. And it's also awesome for me to support them because, as you know, getting on the radio is not that easy. And I'm just 100% in favor of new music and new artists. And if I can shine some light on you, you know I'm going to do it. Now I need to look for someone who will give me a new pop show and a new house show, and then I can take it from there. But I got the
Beautiful.
rock side down.
Beautiful, and you are gonna do it. You are that kind of a person who is clearly a go-getter. So I can recognize one for sure, and that will just, happen. Um, I have in this little snapshot kind of interview two more questions to you before we continue to mini mix. And now those two questions. First one is a little bit about that label. What got you to establish your label of your own?
Clearly a moment of insanity. This is the hardest thing I've ever done, Heidi. It's like, oh my God. But I'm chugging along. My goal always was that whatever comes from the labels, either the house pop EDM side, which is Wake Up Music Group, it's actually Wake Up Music. All of them are Wake Up Music Group. And then the rock side, which is its own niche. So I had to develop a different side for Wake Up Music Rocks. But definitely what I wanted to do was get to the point where people would know that whatever was coming off of the label was going to be quality. And I do feel like I am getting to that point, and people are paying attention and they see Wake Up and they want to at least check it out. Because it's not that easy to get people to listen to new music.
Mhm.
I myself get sent a lot of music, and it's probably better if you continue to pester me because it's so much music sometimes. And it's not that I don't want to listen to it, it's just that it's so much music. So my goal was to give the artists also a home where they would feel free to create, where they did not feel like they had a major label telling them, you got to do this and you got to do that and change this part. I let my artists have carte blanche. Now, if they ask me my opinion or if I hear something, I'm going to share it. And as we were talking a little earlier in the show, sometimes they don't necessarily use my opinion, but they springboard off of that and they get another idea, and the whole track becomes better when you have other people giving you sometimes some feedback. So to support these artists who are so talented, that's what I love. I really love that. I'm not afraid to start from zero. I mean, brand new bands that you never heard of. And then it fills me with a lot of joy to watch them grow and move forward and get to more ears. Like, I just love that part. But trust me, it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
It is a hard thing to run and grow the record label. I've been running mine a little bit more than 2 years now, and it
Oh,
is a lot of
know.
work. Yes, it is a lot of work, but it's also something that when you take the challenge, I would say that you agree that you kind of surprise yourself of all the things that you need to learn in the process, no matter what you kind of think that you have prepared yourself, but there's always something new that you can
Oh
learn. And
my
it
God.
also keeps it exciting in one way and so on, but it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work, definitely.
Mad work. And yeah, just like you said, you are constantly learning. And trust me, Heidi, some of the stuff I did not want to learn, but I had to
Yeah,
because the more you can do yourself, the more self-sufficient, the more you can stretch
true.
the budget, because music is not an inexpensive sport. It is something that you will have to invest in if you expect to see growth. So it's it's a lot of fun, but there aren't enough hours in the day really to do as much as I would like to do. But I always remember tomorrow's another day, and
Yeah,
Rome wasn't built in a day. And as long as we keep moving forward, that's the important part.
that's the thing. And it is our choice, and like you said, it is up to us. We can kind of also do it in our own terms and to fit our lifestyle. And now, last but not least, the question that you kind of touch it a little bit already. You are also a radio personality, and you are involved not only in house but in various genres of music. What got you into radio?
That also was another pure luck thing. Um, it happened to be Kevin Harris over at the Sound 228 who said, "How would you like to do a new music show?" And I'm like, I would love to do a new music show. I have no idea why he had faith in me. And 100 and I think it's 13 episodes later, I'm still going strong. And it's a joy to talk with so many musicians and bands and hear what they're doing. And then after that, it was Wayne Benson who offered me the second show on the radio station that's now called Classic Hits Z107. So normally they spin more of the classic stuff that many, many people are very attached to. And then they drop me in every Friday at noon. In fact, I just finished listening to my show before hopping on with you. And that is I think that gives the station a little bit of pep, and it lets other listeners who are listening to more classic hear some of the very cool stuff that's going on. Basically, my position is that today's new music is tomorrow's classic. So we
Yeah,
definitely have to love and share it.
true. And now we have a very tiny moment, but I'm gonna now mention this. Congratulations for being and selected, and not without a good reason, because all that what you're doing, in your label and in radio, it's completely understandable why you were chosen to be a voting member for Grammy Awards. So congratulations for
Thank
that. Again,
you.
you are doing a beautiful job, and that is a beautiful recognition of everything that you are doing to get new music heard, and to promote music, and to select music, and really offer people quality music to listen to. So that is amazing, and again,
I
congratulations.
really appreciate that. That was a lovely gift for 2024, and I look forward to giving it my all.
Yes. So, Pepper, if somebody, after hearing our beautiful discussion, wants to know more about you, where can they find you in social media?
Well, they can call Heidi.
Ah, yes.
Like you don't have enough to do. No, but on a serious note, of course, our website is wakeupmusicgroup.com. And from there, you can navigate to anything, to our socials, to our YouTube, to our Spotify. We have all our artists up there. You can navigate to our artist pages on socials. And you probably have noticed that I tend to be more on Facebook than the other platforms. But on Facebook and Instagram, we're at Wake Up Music GRP for group, at Wake Up Music GRP. And on YouTube, we're Wake Up Music Group, and we're pretty easy to find. If you Google us, we pop up, and it's not hard to find. And I actually love talking to people. So if people want to text me or email me, I'm always happy to respond. And I always do hope to be of support. But I really want to thank you for having me on the show. I knew it was going to be delightful. It was beyond delightful. We thank you for everything you're doing for new music. We thank you for being an artist. And it's just a very wonderful time, I think, for new music and new artists, because there are many ways to get your music out there. And then the rest is in the ears of the new music listeners, who we also adore, because without them, we got nothing. We need them, we love them, and we honor and respect their ear, because the ears out there are very refined and they know what's good. So we thank them for that.
We thank them, and that was beautifully, very beautifully put. And I want to thank you again for taking time to share about your house music journey and your musical journey in general. We learned beautiful, fascinating things about you and about your appreciation towards music cultures around the world, and the importance of the music. You are spreading very, very beautiful message to the world, and you are making a very important impact in your own art, in many ways, like we learned, and also by supporting other artists and making new music heard, and now also having an important role in helping new artists to get recognized when it comes to the industry, like this Grammy Awards. But not only that, obviously your radio work, not only in a genre of house, but in many genres of music. That's just absolutely amazing, and I salute you for everything that you are doing for the global house music community and the music community globally
A
as well.
joy. Just a total joy, a joy to spend time with you. Someday let's do it in person, and it'll be so fun. Just like, yes, I'll dance with you. It'll be as fun, or probably more fun, in real life. But Heidi, you're a sweetheart, you're a legend, and it's a joy to spend time with you. You keep going, and I'm always here to support you also.
We meet next time on the dance floor, okay?
Okay, you got it. You got it.
In Miami or in Helsinki or anywhere in the world.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you.
Well, I'm sending you a lot of blessings and love.
You too. And new music. We'll keep it going.
We keep it going. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye for now, sweetie.